evening, everybody, and welcome back to Fallout Shelter Survival. You just saw it pop up there. We completed the collecting of food, or whatever it was, for a Mr. Handy. Another Mr. Handy. Another Mr. Handy. It was done offline. I came back in, and it was done. So let's collect our Mr. Handy, see what the next one is. 2250 caps on quests. Kick that out. We can't use it. $7 with a weapon. I can do that. I can do that. I got a couple other things I got to do as well. You know, how's it all going? How's it hanging? How's your January going? It is now a nice balmy 70 degrees in my house. Yes, I got a new furnace. Woohoo! I got it. You know, we talked last week. Monday, Martin Luther King Day, the furnace died. And I got it fixed by Thursday. I was done. It was all said and done. So I was only out. Really for 48 hours. They came back. They installed the air conditioning unit on the outside because that needed to be done as well. I figured I got more money. You know, it was going to struggle in the summer anyways. So it just made more sense to get them both because you get a discount and it saved me some money later on. I mean, I was already on the hook for the cost of one. I might as well get them both and get it done. I mean, you know, that's what it is. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's not perform 11 perfect critical hits. That we're gonna have to get rid of that one too. But I can't. I'm done with those. I can't get those anymore because I've already used it up. I'm not gonna spend a nuclear quantum on it. However, just to let you know, I got 2 Mr. Handys out in the wastelands collecting money. Caps. They're gonna be coming back. I will get at most. Where is? Oh, I gotta go get it. Yes, let's go get the Mr. Handy. Yay! Hello, Mr. Handy. Oh, and Lucy picked a fine time to wake up. She's been sleeping most of the day. Yeah, I'm going to ruffle up your fur. How about that? Ruffle up your fur. Alrighty, so Mr. Handy's coming back. Up, 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 up. There's nobody here to stop it. We gotta get somebody there before somebody happens. I don't want to get... Oh, I can't manage 2 things going on. Oh, get somebody up there quickly, 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 quickly. Shit, well... Oh, it's all kicking off. It's all kicking off, son of a bitch. Oh, no. Kill him. Get him. Get him. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Oh. Oh, no. This is horrible. Oh, my gosh. Oh, shit. Oh, shit the bed. Shit the freaking bed. Oh, my God. Seriously. Did anybody die? Nobody died? Seriously? Did nobody die? Holy crap, that was amazing. That was amazing. Oh my goodness. Way to go, peeps. Awesome possum. We survived that by the skin of our teeth. Was not prepared for that to happen. That is a problem, my friends. That is a real problem. We got to get somebody back on the floor there. My goodness. Holy shnikes. Okay, well... There goes my plans for what I was going to do today. Huh. Yeah. Okay. My goodness. Okay, so that's going to change a couple of things that we're going to do right now. Wow. All right. What are we sitting on as far as how many we've got? One. My goodness. My goodness. Can we rush it? Yeah, let's see how bad this is gonna be. How bad is this gonna be? Come on, come on. There we go. That's better. All right, I'm gonna force the issue on some of this stuff because we got that other objective in there. I was working on that before I started recording. I need 5 more incidents. I think I can do that without. It'll localize it to here at least, anyways, and I only need to go through 2. That gives me almost 3 chances to replenish their health before I run out of stuff here. So there you go. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna hold off and wait and keep going. My goodness, we had some things I wanted to talk about today. Some important things. You know, the 400-pound gorilla in the room. That is going to be the YouTube partnership program, which I mentioned I think maybe briefly, and a couple other videos that won't come out for a while have some discussion on it. But for the main part, the channel as it stands is in sort of disarray. YouTube, in their infinite wisdom of stupidity, well, no. I shouldn't say their stupidity. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. They chose to implement some new protocols for how content, creators can be monetizing their videos. And it does not bode well for myself or anybody that is just getting up off the ground and running. Now, granted, I've been around for about 4 or 5 years now with this channel, and I have made all of $100 in that time. So I'm not exactly a, huge contributor here. Not exactly getting a heck of a lot of money from YouTube in general for doing my thing. But, and I have cultivated a channel. And somebody, nicely used the wrong metaphor or the wrong analogy. I was not a blimp, not blip, blimp on their radar anyways. It's blip, dipshit, first of all. Second of all, I was building a channel. I am building a channel. Now, you sit there and you can sit there and say, hey, Mongo, you only have 495 subscribers, and the amount of views you have on some of your videos here are in the teens, if not maybe low 20s. So you're not exactly a big team player here. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Does not matter, because I am still part of the game here. And whether I have 500 subscribers or 5 million subscribers, I will not just sit idly by and not comment on this this issue, because here's the thing. And let's get back, let's take a couple steps back and explain what's happening. So because of the adpocalypse and because of other things like the Logan Paul incident we all heard about, where, he was in that suicide force, the Japanese suicide force, and he took a video of someone who was, the unfortunate person who did, what happened. He got into some hot water over his channel with that, and it kind of caused some issues. As it should have. As it should have. And, that led them to be making some decisions about how they were going to allow channels to... What is going on? Why do they keep hitting the wrong people here? How they're going to monetize. So now, the threshold... Let's take it back another step then. Of course, the mysterious stranger shows up right there, and I could use you. Thank you, making it rain. Loving it. So, back when the whole adpocalypse thing happened, people were finding that their channels were not showing ads because of the advertisers being upset about the type of content that was being advertised on, and that caused them to decide to create a stink, and then YouTube formed the AI bot that goes through and determines whether or not your content is good enough for viewing. Now, the problem with that is that video games have depicted violence sometimes, and zombies and everything else and whatnot, and that creates somewhat of a bad actor scenario for anybody that's creating content, not people who are doing it intentionally, like we've seen with these parental things, these kids in danger, that kind of stuff, the whole thing. And I understand that's bad. That shouldn't be. But the problem is that it's not foolproof. They haven't trained it right. And instead of what most technological companies do, or tech companies, or technology that gets installed, is that there is, a growing, a period of growing pains where you have to get things to work right, and you have to test them out, and you have to make sure that all, everything works right. And they didn't do that, I guess, or they did some to a point, but it still failed miserably coming out of the gate. And now here we are. And what then happened is that a lot of people were getting their channel, their videos demonetized, and the whole restricted thing happened, non-restricted mode thing, that all happened, and then people who Fallout Shelter videos were being restricted or limited with no ads for no other reason, So there were some problems with that whole thing, and I said there was an easy fix to this. I've been saying it for over a year. You have two buckets of advertisers. You have the advertisers who do not care what they advertise on. They can advertise on, near pornographic, material. They don't care. They don't have any care in the world. They were willing to advertise on anything because they feel that it's on, on the person, not on the company. That, the personal responsibility. So they're okay with clips of simulated or, whatever violence in video games or movies or whatever else. And then you have a bucket of advertisers who are sensitive to that and don't want to, the Anheuser-Busch and everything else, and 23andMe, and any of those companies out there that have some qualms over content that may be considered religious or political or sensitive, sexual relationship type of thing. They can say, I don't want to be advertising on those types of channels or that type of content. And then if they can figure out a way to have an AI bot go through and discover whether or not your video is suitable for advertising, they can definitely go through and figure out whether or not your video is suitable for one type of advertiser versus the other. And you just apply accordingly. But they won't do that. Now, there's two schools of thought in this whole thing. Is one, YouTube has taken a lot of heat from the advertisers who are paying their bills. And it takes a lot of money to run a company like YouTube, which from what I've heard in the history of, they're not making a profit. They're getting a hell of a lot of money that pretty much just impacts the ability to keep the servers and all the things up and running to hold all the content that we as content creators have put out onto YouTube. And they're doing a, YouTube Red, and they've got the YouTube TV, and they have, you can rent and whatever movies and stuff and TV shows, stuff like that. So it's, there's money coming into the channel somehow. And what they're paying out to the biggest top producers like of the PewDiePies, who that's another story altogether, and Philip DeFranco and all those other people out there that have big, huge channels and millions of subscribers that make, they're getting a cut of their ad revenue, but not much. And they've all moved away from ad revenue as being their source of income to merchandise and other things and Patreon and whatnot. But and it's like, okay, fine. Well, they have to make sure that they keep the subscribers or the advertisers in their good graces, because that's who's paying the bills. That's understandable. I get that. I can jive with that, man. I understand. The responsibility of you to not have these bad actors out there making money off of the platform is honorable. I can get that. The method by which they're doing it is where you have a problem. That's the one school of thought. The other school of thought is that YouTube is trying to just cut out us small content creators that we're nickel and dime to them. But there's a lot of us. I mean, you have the 1% and the 99%. The 1% is the big, huge channels with millions of subscribers that make money off their content all the time. The 99% is everybody else that makes very little money, but which is more? Which bucket holds more? The top producers on YouTube or the ones that make just little bits here and there over the course? That's where, the bottom line, they're cutting and they're just removing all of that. They're removing that. They're taking a sledgehammer or a butcher knife where they need a scalpel to keep these bad actors off of there. So now anybody that does not have in the last year 4,000 hours, which is about, what did I figure out? That was a hell of a lot of time, like 136,000 minutes of watch time in the last 12 months. And you can check on your analytics page to see if you figure that out. If you fall into that, that category. If you don't have 4,000 hours of watch time in the past year, you cannot monetize your channel or your videos. If you do not have 1,000 subscribers or more, you cannot monetize videos on your channel. I checked, and I have probably about 235,000 minutes of watch time from the channel in general in the analytics page on the creator side of YouTube. So I'm good there, but I only have 495 subscribers. Now the whole big thing last year was let's get to 500 subscribers. Let's get to 500 subscribers. Had I known that this was going to come, I would have made a bigger push for getting 1,000. And since it took me a whole year to only get 200 subscribers, almost 200 subscribers, to get another 800 or another altogether would have been damn near impossible. And because I didn't make the 500. So I'm going to be screwed. So come, what is it, February 20th, there's a 30-day grace period from that. And I've already been notified that I'm not going to be able to monetize my videos. So after March, I am no longer making any money off this channel. Well, not that I wasn't, but it was building. It was being banked until I get paid out. So that sucks for us smaller channels. And it basically, I'm looking at this as a business decision. YouTube does not want to pay that lower tier of content creator because there's so many of us, and anybody can be in that they've set the goalpost. Now, PewDiePie, who I don't really particularly care for, but that's beside the point. I just don't like his style. I don't like the things he's represented and supported in the last couple of years. He's gotten into trouble for doing some stupid shit. Hey, oh, everybody gets too offended, PC culture, blah, blah, blah. No, there's just some common freaking decency here, and he crossed that line, especially with the whole pedo thing. Whether you want to sit there and talk about that or not, that's another story. But my thing is that he done screwed up. He made some problems there. And as far as I'm concerned, he's exactly what YouTube's talking about when they say that they're trying to restrict the problems of bad actors, like the Logan Paul incident and these children in danger videos or whatever else. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world. We understand that, and the idea that you can just go onto a website, upload a video, and make money off of it is the American dream. But to do it with nefarious intent is bad. There's a lot of people that do things stupidly without the intent. And I think that YouTube should be able to determine whether or not that channel can, be a bad actor or a good actor dependent upon, vetting of that channel. Samama. Okay, well, we're getting, yeah. But, that's the rub, right? But PewDiePie said he's like, look, I hate some of their policies too, but this is one I actually get behind. Well, it doesn't freaking, care. It doesn't matter to you. You've already gotten there. You make more money off your brand than you do off of YouTube. So A, you don't freaking care what YouTube does. They just provide you with the platform. And B, your stuff's still getting monetized. So, you are not part of the solution. You're part of the problem, which you are one of the reasons why they started doing these things. Not him personally, but the type of stuff that he's gotten in trouble for before is what they're doing to try to, stop this from happening. And here's the thing. Like I said, somebody bitched at me because I made a comment about, well, you're not really doing anything anyway, so why would you, you're not even part of the issue. Like, here's the thing. I'm going to a job. I'm considering YouTube as a job right now because it's the only thing that I'm working towards that was actually paying besides doing t-shirts. And I am not getting paid, but I am working towards being paid. I am being paid at the end of the effort. So I go into this job, and I move the mouse all the way down the bottom. I go into this job, and I have A, B, and C in order to be paid, to complete in order to be paid. So you go into your job, you do A, B, and C, and you will get paid. So I work my butt off, and I do A, B, and C. And then they come back and say, when it's time for me to have my paycheck, and say, oh, well, by the way, we're going to make it now that you need to have X, Y, and Z as well. And that's where the problem is that, they haven't yet paid you for A, B, and C that you were supposed to have. And A, B, and C is that 10,000 whatever lifetime views in order to monetize your channel and the other goalpost that they set up. And now they've moved it and said, well, you completed that you did what we asked you to do. And now we're going to move the goalpost and you're not going to be paid anyways. So again, they keep changing the rules on how you can, and this is almost insurmountable. It's almost insurmountable for most people. Like me, I'm not going to get 1,000 subscribers before this goes off. Which leads me to a lot of other questions that, I could probably dig up the information if I looked hard enough, but I'd rather just hear him bitch about it because that's what I do. No, quite seriously, I've read the announcement and I did not see this information in there. I could be wrong. I skimmed it and perused it in a moment of panic, and I recorded a whole vlog post for something that I, took 5 seconds and said maybe I better think about that. So those two criterion that you have to figure out: 4,000 hours of video watched in the last year and 1,000 subscribers. Fine. So come March 20th or whatever it is, I'm shut off. I'm not allowed to monetize my videos. Now, does that mean that once I get 1,000 subscribers, I will automatically be able to monetize my videos again? No. They're going to have to take a case-by-case basis and reevaluate things. So immediately after day 2 of 1,000 subscribers, the videos that I already have aren't, that I've already been making, monetization friendly, whatever, are no longer there. Do those come back? Do those automatically get reset to being monetized again? Or do I have to go through 1,000 videos and turn on monetization again and then go through the entire process again, having them then reevaluated? And they're going to be doing this on a manual, supposedly there's going to be a manual element to this to evaluating whether or not videos can be monetized for those that are capable of having 1,000 subscribers and whatnot. So does that mean that now I have to wait even longer for the monetization to take effect? I mean, there are a lot of questions here, man. I got questions and concerns here. So that's where we're at. There's a lot, so I get it now. I get it. I get this whole thing. Let me take this back to you. There's a couple things I still want to get to in this video about the actual game, not my bullshit about, my problems, because who cares about my problems? It's just me venting, and this is my place to vent. I started a blog back in 2006 because I wanted to get back into writing again. I wanted to just flex the creative juices I have in muscles and do some writing. And I wouldn't say that I'm a great writer, but it was fun while I did all that stuff. I had all kinds of goofball things that I did, in that time. And I mean, I got away from it because it just became too much of a hassle for me to put out content. I was putting out a blog post that was pretty lengthy every single day, and then it was done every 3 days, and then it was like once a week, and then it was never. But that was my thing, and I did it, one, to get money, because I thought you could, I listened to the hype of, you can make more money off a blog if you just do this, this, and this. 1, start a blog. 2, question mark, question mark, question mark, 3, profit, which was not really the case. I don't know who those people are. I don't know how they made money off of a blog, but it sure as heck wasn't doing what I was doing. I sucked no matter what it is. The second thing I did on the internet as an entrepreneur trying to make money was start a t-shirt business, because I wanted to get back into, being creative with like Paint or Paint.net, which I use, or a Photoshop, and doing graphic design. No formal training there, just like with the writing, but I enjoyed doing it, and I actually made some money off of it. And it, became a side business, and it became a very viable business for me, almost recession-proof. And it still makes money today, and I really don't put a lot of effort into it, which tells you a lot. If you put a lot of effort into it, you can probably make a heck of a lot of money. There are really talented, creative people out there that make a living selling t-shirts like I do, who don't have to go to a 9-to-5 job. Me, I wish I could go to a 9-to-5 job at this point. And then when YouTube thing came around, I got in at the end of the golden age of YouTube, when everybody was already doing it. When Minecraft was already out there throughout the world, everybody was playing it and recording it, and nobody cared about new channels popping up. But I tried, and I got out there, and I made my mark. Why? 2 reasons. 1, because I wanted to make money. Why? I mean, it's pure, plain, and simple. Wanted to make some money off of it. But 2 was to prove that you could do it without having to be one of these people that have a huge, big company that does that. And, that was the whole point. And that's kind of a failure to me. That is an actual failure to me, that I can't be that, be that guy. So, that kind of sucks in that sense. But, I'm taking it in stride, because I'm still going to try to put out the content as much as I can, and not going to be that much content. I'm sure as hell not going to give a lot of thought to what I do. I started recording me playing Dead Island, and it's chock full of F words in the game itself. So hey, why not be the same? Because I can't monetize those videos one way or the other, and they're not going to come out until after the deadline happens anyway. So I'm not going to worry about them. It's going to be age restricted, and I'm going to follow the rules on that kind of thing, because that's how I'm going to be. I don't care about views anymore. Doesn't matter. And quite frankly, me becoming a bigger entity scares me, kind of. Because then I would actually have to really put a lot of effort into it, and there's a lot of notoriety, and your anonymity is gone. And being a small-time YouTuber is kind of a blessing in disguise, because I can kind of get away with doing stuff and not have to worry about expectations. I mean, granted, I put a lot of expectations on myself for this job to be able to put out a video every single day, and I have done so as one person. And where you may
disagree with me on the quality of that content, I enjoy putting it out. And I said, blogging was for writing, graphic design for the shirts, and this is for me for editing and for creativity and going out and finding the stuff and mixing and matching and really putting together. And I think I can sort of put that together very well. I'm using free software. I'm using, cheap ass stuff. And I think the quality of the content that I put out speaks for itself. I just don't have the visibility. And maybe, like I said, maybe that's a blessing in disguise. Maybe I just better off that I don't have that out there. Because if I did, then I would be on the hook to be even bigger. And, then I can disappoint easily. When you get to be high on the ladder, people start looking to knock you off no matter what. And, our society is all about not taking people down pegs. It's not about lifting up. That's the unfortunate part. And I'm part of that problem. And oh, look, Jake Tapper's got a Minecraft mug. Sorry, it's TV's on in the background. Anyways, so if you haven't noticed already, and you haven't been wondering Mongo, what happened to the vault? Looks a little bit different. Looks a little like Cloud City. I did move some stuff around. I'm beginning to make that push towards putting things where I want it. You can see I moved and I expanded the power station down here to a 3-block station, and it's on a separate thing. So now I have this power station will now power anything around it, like this 8-block radius around it. Just like this one down here will power anything around it. And I've also moved all of these puppies down here in order: strength, perception, endurance, charisma. Why am I doing this? Intelligence, agility, and luck. And we have graduated our first set of peeps into the power station. She's got all of her perks up. Whoops. Well, that happened anyways. She's got all her perks up. She's got all her perks up. He's got all his perks up. That's Mr. Handy. We don't care about him. He's got all his perks up. Well, Peter, you're a disappointment. I'm sorry. But eventually Peter will replace somebody down here as one of these fine folks. Not you. You're new. These are the people that came out of that room. But Tammy Barton, she's only got intelligence to work on. Harry Hancock, he's got his, that to work on. And, that's how we're doing. That's what we're doing these days. So this is all working towards the goal of getting this thing up. And people have talked about, we can, you should just try to get 200 dwellers as fast as you can without, worrying about other things. I know I'm being a little bit more, cautious about stuff. I want to show that we can do. Man, I've got 316,000 caps. Look what we've done. This is pretty damn good. Things are not having, things are looking up for me. We're getting there. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. And look at all these things we got going on here. Sell these weapons, perform critical hits, which we have to get rid of. 17,500. The only reason I'm keeping this one around, and I got 2 Mr. Handies out in the wastelands that are in the vault doing stuff, is because on total, this is about 19,000 caps. It gets us to that goal of 999,000 caps. That's why I'm doing it. Now, we could have fun. We could go and take one of my other vaults, make a copy of it so I don't lose it forever, and just say, let's take everybody's weapons and their outfits and sell them all, and then just wait for death claws to come flying in and see what happens. Let's see. I've never had, a vault die. I've never had it, lose all of your, what would happen if you evicted every single dweller? These are like things we could do, like little, things to do in Fallout Shelter. I don't know. But there ties into another idea of this, what I'm talking about with this YouTube partnership program is that Boogie2988, I call him Boogie2988 even though it's Boogie2988. The guy does Francis videos, which he can no longer do, I guess, anymore because he says that, it violates whatever. And I feel bad for the guy. I don't know him. I don't know any YouTubers, okay? I don't know, except for the ones I've talked about. My nephew and stuff like that, who doesn't really even do that anymore. He's feeling the same way I am. He's got other stuff going on. But I don't know these other YouTubers. I talk like I actually know who these people are. I'm talking as a fan about these people, like Rooster Teeth and Yogscast and, all them. But Boogie2988, he is I like him. I like listening to him. He talks very well. It's such a, when I remember seeing the Francis videos back in like the early 2000s on eBombs World and those other platforms before YouTube. And I was like, this got to be staged. And it was, it was. It's a character. And I, give the guy all the credit in the world. And he's really done a lot. He's been through a lot of shit in his life, and he's coming out, on the other side of it. And definitely is a long road to hoe. And I give him so much credit for that. And he speaks very, very well about these subjects. And he's talked about that, YouTube, we need to look at this as not, and I agree with him, and I give him all the credit in the world, and I like the video. We need to look at YouTube not as a website for payment, but as a pass-through for other places. Merchandise, Patreon, streaming, all the other things. YouTube, we need to stop looking at YouTube as being where we make our money and look at it as a tool for getting the message out about our brand. And I guess I totally agree with that. Because we've now moved past where YouTube was a way to make money. Now YouTube is a way to get your message out. Don't monetize your videos, and then if you can use it, because as he said, YouTubers who are making a heck of a lot of money off of YouTube, they're not really making that much money anymore. The profits they've seen have gone down tremendously. We have seen the change and this is the exact same thing that happened to me with one of my t-shirt shops. When I first started out, I said, well, as long as I can make enough to run the site, $60 a year, I will keep doing it. And I made that within the first month of doing it. So it was worth me paying that money out. And then after a year of doing it, they changed the platform and they stopped doing things that, were conducive to really paying the artists and more about their bottom line. And they were using us to get their bottom line full, but they weren't compensating it for us. They changed the model on how we would be able to be paid. They changed the amounts of how we would be able to be paid. A lot of things. And I branched out. I didn't just stay there. I didn't just use that. Even though it was 50% of my income in making t-shirts, I didn't rely on it. I diversified into other shirt shops that don't charge you. Like Cafe Press charges you in order to have the visibility. And, it's the Walmart of the t-shirt print-on-demand sites. TeePublic, Redbubble, even Zazzle's. I don't even really rely on Zazzle anymore. Zazzle pisses me off because they have not fixed a lot of the problems their UI has. The user experience is horrible for a designer. Their content platform for putting stuff up is ridiculously dumb. They have not, in the 10 years that I've used them, they have not fixed that platform, and that just really sucks because they were a good competitor for Cafe Press that did not have, you could do the exact same thing you could do with Cafe Press, but you just didn't have to pay for it. TeePublic and Redbubble are up there because TeePublic is just, they said, you know what, we're not going to fart around with this stuff. It's just straight across the board. Here's how much you make off each of your shirts. $4 per shirt, and then it scales up from the different types of product, mugs or hoodies or stickers or whatnot. Redbubble is a little bit more, you can set your price point on it. 20% is what I put on there. And I'm getting way off topic, but this all works into the spirit of what I'm talking about, this entrepreneurial and payment and monetization and stuff like that. The TeePublic is great because of their the way that they're facing of things, how they I like working with them. Redbubble, I like, they're a little bit more, across the border, or across the border, they're more across the ocean. They're like UK and stuff like that. So I have them supplement, and I make more. Now the pendulum has shifted from being Cafe Press being 50% of my income from shirts. It's now swung over to TeePublic and Redbubble being 50%, and everybody else makes up the bottom half. Less than 50% actually, because I know Screen is not really as profitable as they once were to me. They've suffered. They're a smaller outfit. They don't have the reach that Cafe Press and Zazzle has, and it's a brick and mortar outfit, and they do a lot of other good stuff, which I really like. But when their sourcing of non-sweatshop stuff and everything sort of American Apparel or whatnot, oh shit, sort of changed the model, and they lost out on that. So, okay, well, I got to collect you after I take care of this stuff. All right, I think we got it. I think we got it kicked in the ass. Let's get rid of this one. Let's get rid of this one. Nobody gives a crap about that. Oh, for flip's sake. Excuse me while I sort my inventory. Oh my goodness. All right. It's funny how it doesn't have to be. It's just the number of persons, not the actual person that holds the item. It's just in order of how you choose them. Okay. So yeah, that's, that the idea is that I had to make a different way of making money off of it. And the same thing with YouTube. And I started to get out there with the Patreon idea, but Patreon is not a great platform for me because I don't do things on demand. I record months, weeks, days in advance. I put them out there. You're more than willing to make a suggestion to me. If I can do it, I can do it. And I've only asked that if, I'm using Patreon more of a pass-through for merchandising. I'm asking you to make a one-time donation or tip to me in exchange for getting something from me. It's a one-for-one. You're basically buying something from a store that I sell on. And, I'm sort of trying to proof out the model. I'm trying to figure these things out, and they're not really that great for me. So I'm probably fiddling with this microphone. It's probably making a hell of a lot of feedback noise, and I don't realize it yet, but I'll find out in post. So, the YouTube is not going to be the way to make money off the internet anymore. I'm willing to say, at this point in time, January 2018, YouTube's dying as far as being a platform for people to make money off of. Individuals, corporations, whatever, they can still do that. Me, no. And I'm willing to say, hey, come join me on a different type of adventure. We'll use YouTube as the medium for where we communicate, but it's not going to be, the end-all be-all. And I've asked, do you want to see a way for me to show you how to make, and I'm saying it doesn't sound like an infomercial, but you can make a good, decent amount of money selling online without having to have any inventory, any marketing skills or anything like that. Just have some basic art skills, and you can learn them along the way, and you can get better at them like I have. And I can teach you some tricks. And it sounds like I'm trying to sell you something like some kind of a pyramid scheme. I'm not. This is the kind of stuff that I wish somebody would have been able to show me when I first started out doing this kind of thing. Because it took me a couple of years to really get my feet wet on how to do that. And, it really is a great thing to do. It's fun. It's creative. There's a really good community out there. And it's not like it really doesn't cost anything. It really doesn't. I mean, you might want to, invest some money in some server space and start your own website, but you don't have to. You can use these print-on-demand sites. And with the print-on-demand sites, and I'm going to wrap it up here soon because I've been talking forever and I'm running out of space on my hard drive. Print-on-demand websites, meaning you upload a piece of art, like a drawing or whatever else you want to call, and you slap it on t-shirts, stickers, mugs, whatever. You set a commission, or it's set for you, depending on what site you're using. And then when people use that website, like TeePublic, Cafe Press, Redbubble, Zazzle, anything like that, they find your stuff, they can buy it, and then you get a commission off of the, you get a commission based off of the sale of that item. And that could be $4, it could be $2, it could be 25 cents, depending on the item. But you can make money off that, and it is not hard to do. I have been able to, in the past, since I started, pay mortgage, pay Christmas, pay vacation, stuff like that, using this idea, using these sites. And I don't have to have any inventory. I just have to manage a hard drive with artwork on it. And, you gotta do some social media stuff, tweet out some stuff. I tweeted out a shirt idea, tagged it did some tagging on it, and it generated some buzz, and people start, sharing it back and forth, saying they wanted it, and I gave them the link and everything, and I sold a couple of shirts. That took, that bit of little free advertising took 10 minutes for me to do, and it generated revenue. That's what I'm talking about. And, I didn't know what I was doing when I first started out, but I learned tricks. I learned how to make designs. I learned how to make the things that are cool, like how you make starbursts with all the rays coming out, the spiring stripes and banners and ribbons and stuff like that. They're really easy to do once you figure it out, and I can show you all that. We can start doing. I can show you I can bring receipts. Show you the PayPal stuff that shows where I'm getting paid. And you can see. And if you're just like a, high school kid or college and you just need, extra money and you want to pay for, snacks and naps and snacks and whatever else and beer and all that other stuff, easy way to do it. All you got to do is just keep track of the taxes at the end of the year. That's all you got to do. You make more than $500 in a year, you got to file a 1099 or whatever. That's not that hard to do. So let me know. We can get it set up. I can't monetize the videos, but I could sure as heck, give you some good information and then maybe get you subscribed, and I could get, oh my God, we're just getting rinsed with Raiders today. And then, we can get there. I can get to that 1,000 subscribers. So I can go back into doing all the fun stuff and whatever. Maybe this is a blessing for me. Who knows? So everybody's leveling up. Holy shnikes, look at what's going on here. I'm going to send out, after we get done with this, we're going to end the video because it's been almost probably an hour at this point. I've gone off on 15,000 different tangents. My goodness. This was a very passionate video. I really, I'm not going to lie. We've talked about some shit. It's been fun. My goodness. My goodness. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm not liking the fact that they're getting through the door now. I think it has to do with the criticals that these guys have. So I really need to, what we need to do, maybe next time, I have to remember to do this. I'll forget otherwise. Maybe what we need to do is we need to stack 2 of these guys with all their stats, because they got the best weapons I got, in this power room up here so that I can send them to the front, and I bet you we no longer have anybody sneaking through like we have those last times. So you can definitely tell that they've leveled up the Raider attacks. They're no longer just pissy Annie kind of bullshit. They're actually starting to, get through some defenses here. That's why I have this empty room here. We can just serve as an overflow. And then once we get to people where there's like, level 50s with all their stats, and we can start making Mark 6 power armor, we'll just load the room with just soldiers. Be like Han Solo running into the room with stormtroopers going, and turn around and run them back out. So, all right. So that's it. I'm going to send Mr. Handy out here out to the wasteland to go collect more so I can get that 17,000, caps for this one. We'll get rid of the critical hits one. We'll come back and hopefully we'll have a little bit more to do than me just sitting here bullshitting about YouTube. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Show me some love. Show me some criticism. Whatever. Just keep it constructive. Let's not be douchebags about it. All right. And, subscribe if you like what you see and you want to see more. And, keep the train rolling. So have a good night. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.